Good afternoon, sports fans. It's your friendly neighborhood Paul here with another episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks, where myself and my lovely co-host sit back and we talk about the games of old, the games of new, and everything in between, all while enjoying a cheeky little beverage. And of course, we start off, as always, with the one, the hopefully only, the Tetris Camp Counselor of the World, ProbablyOliver. How you doing, my man?
Wolverine is coming to PS5. Wolverine is coming to PS5. Wolverine. This is not nostalgia on the rocks. This is Wolverine on the rocks. Where we're just gonna talk about the Wolverines of old, the Wolverines of new, and everything in between. Wolverine is coming to PlayStation.
You know we're gonna have to get Suburbanite Slop back because, like, remember, like we still owe him a part 2 where we just talk about Marvel. That'll be the next thing. Is like as we get closer to that, we'll just bring him in to talk about the Marvel side because last time all we did was talk DC. However, we do need to get Nolza back on first because, as we all discussed, we did him dirty.
We did him dirty. We did Nolza dirty.
We didn't know what we were doing with the show yet. We didn't have the format nailed down yet. We were like an hour, like a hard fast hour. We're gonna do this, and then like by episode 3, we were like, okay, we can't do this. Like we need to change. We need to change this up a little bit. We can't just interview the guest. Like we need to have a topic for the guest to talk about. And speaking of our guest, if you guys are part of this community, you have a general idea of who this lovely individual is. He is, of course, the man with the part-time stream working on the full-time dream, the man who is filled with ridiculous positive energy, the king of Fall Guys himself, Joe Medforce. How are you doing, my man?
I am fucking fantastic. I don't swear that often, but I feel it's appropriate for having a few tasty brews with two incredible gents such as yourselves. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, no, this was in the making for a little while. We kind of joked about doing this live in person, but obviously due to just geographical situations, it's kind of difficult. Like even though we're all technically in the UK right now, I know I don't sound British, and that's probably for the best. I know it was real bad. It was not my best. Not my best attempt at it. Not my best attempt at it. But regardless, it's, you know, we kind of all live about an hour to an hour and a half apart from each other. So then all coming together in one centralized location for which that we can then all sit down and record in one spot is difficult.
Plus, I think it's pretty nice. I was saying this earlier on before we started actually recording. Or maybe I said it to someone else earlier. I can't remember. It was pretty sweet that the in-person episode, the first and only in-person episode that you've done, was just with you guys. Like, I think that's, you know, you're the progenitors, the creators of this show, and that was such a great episode. I really liked catching up with you guys on that one.
I hope to watch it one day.
That episode was just a drunken mess. That was like we killed half a bottle that I had planned on leaving at Oliver's house for like a while. Like, oh, he'll have this bottle for at least a couple episodes, all this stuff. Fine, great. Nope, not at all. Immediately was just like burned through it like it was nothing. Like it was
I'm still hungover. I still wake up in the morning and go, ooh, all right, okay.
Why am I still oof. Doing a whole lot of oof right now. But yeah, so with all that aside, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start this off, as always, with, a cheeky little drink. So, Oliver, my good sir, what are you drinking today?
I'm going back to the classic today. Like, it's not been in stock for the longest time, and I've missed it dearly. So we're going with something that anyone who watches my channel will be very familiar with. It's the Camden Hells, the classic, the lager. It is one of the best beers I have ever drunk in my life. And it's available fucking everywhere. Go and buy Camden Hells, and if they do want to sponsor me, then I can be a good face for them.
We have all tried our hands at the alcohol sponsorships. The high wind. I feel like had the best chance at it, and he unfortunately, Screwball
They screwed him.
Yeah, they screwed him. They screwed the pooch. You know, I tried for Fireball. I even bought a Fireball shirt. Nothing.
Wow.
No phone call.
Wow.
No phone. Like not a call. I was doing the dances.
Let's see if this is going to get a good pop for the mic.
Ooh, I heard it. I heard it.
A little.
There was that cheeky little hiss. That nice cheeky little air escaping. It was good.
Cheeky hiss. Love it. And then Joe, what are you drinking tonight?
I am here representing a very local brewery and my favorite local bar. They are known as Mad Squirrel. They got fancy glasses like this. And this beer is a New England double IPA, their most recent concoction called New Breed. And they, in case you couldn't tell from the fact they're called Mad Squirrel, and they got this cool look about them. They're a craft brewery. They're very close to where I live, and I almost every week go in there, and they know my name because of course they do, because I'm buying like 6 or more beers from them, and my friends go there all the time, and it's a good time. And this double IPA is called New Breed because it has new, not put in any other beer anywhere, experimental hops. Actually named HBC 586 and 630, which provide a hop profile of sweet fruit and berries and are backed up with the tropical crowd pleaser Idaho 7. And it's a chemistry of flavors for your taste buds, and it truly is. And I was earlier on because of course it's Friday and we're ready for the weekend, drinking their flagship, which is a much a bit of an easier drinker for anyone who wants to jump into the Mad Squirrel. You can get Mad Squirrel at some supermarkets, if probably more if you're down south in England.
I've drunk Mad Squirrel beers before. They've been at like beer festivals and stuff that I've been at, and they make a good tipple. They make a good tipple.
They do indeed. It is so fine. It's very, very tasty.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then I did not get the memo about the brewskis because I also don't have that. But what I do have, as anyone who has been around here knows, is the tried and true, always there for you scotch. And what we have tonight is the Glenfiddich 18. Our small batch 18. Let's get that close to the mic. Actually, hang on, let's adjust the mic slowly. I'm going to bring the mic into frame. And now, the uncork.
It's the most comedic sounding uncorking.
Oh, I need to lay down in a cigarette after that. That was
the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
So what's funny is that friend of the channel, Mixa and some random numbers, was in the UK this week as of recording this. He flew back actually this morning. I was thankfully able to meet up with him last night, and we stopped by a pub. And he likes whiskey, but he doesn't know much about scotch. So he was like, "You know scotch, pick a scotch." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know your palate, but fuck it, let's try this one." And so I went with Talisker. It's like a Talispire, I think is what it's called. It's a scotch that just has a real big, bold, smoky aftertaste. And he was like, "Okay, I'm going to need to take a photo of the bottle so that way I can find it at the airport when I'm leaving and get it at the duty free." And I was like, "Yes, do that. Do that." Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world, I ask that you raise a glass with us and toast, because it's been a hell of a week. We're ready for the weekend. Here's to you. Cheers.
delicious. I tell you, last night I was stuck in a pub that only served beers from a brewery that I choose not to buy from because they're run by bastards. And it's good to come home today and actually have a beer that tastes good. I mean, their beers taste good, but they're bastards.
You don't feel bad for drinking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I had to let this one seep in. I was like I was just feeling it slowly go down. I was like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Just wash away all the week's gross, not nasty, unnecessary bullshit. Because here we are with friends, as we are talking about starting us off with the games that we've played this past week. Now, I don't know if I want to start. Actually, Oliver, so I'm gonna have you go last because you've been playing the newest game out of us. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, but I also want to give you time to really go into it if you want to, or as little as you want to. So we're gonna start off with Joe Medforce. So Joe, what have you been playing this week?
I jump around a lot of games, and when I say a lot of games, it's mostly just a couple. And then when new Nintendo stuff comes out, I'm all about it. So I will start with the newest game that I've been playing, which came out a week ago from today. If you're listening to this live, WarioWare, get it together. And in case you couldn't understand that, there's our boy, splitting his trousers atop Nintendo Switch Joy-Con as, oh gosh, I can't remember who said it. I think it was actually BitKing Danny commented, "This is the real Joy-Con drift right here." And for those who don't know what WarioWare is, it is a Nintendo party game focused on rapid fire mini games that Wario, in this one particularly, focuses on having apparently made himself with him and a bunch of weird and wonderful friends who you probably wouldn't know if you've not played the games before. It's the newest installment on Switch, and it's such silly chaos. You'll go from 1 second in one game, you're Wario in a jetpack and you're tearing a statue's armpit hairs out. To plugging a nose is the classic from games past, or remixes of other retro Nintendo games. You're jumping through Super Mario World, or helping Samus in Metroid roll up into a ball to get to a door. And if you like the sound of that, you're gonna love WarioWare. It's unfortunately Nintendo WND's weird Nintendo decisions. Nintendo gonna Nintendo. They do their thing where, despite the fact that this game in particular has a focus on like 2-player cooperative multiplayer, it's only local co-op.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. No
Yeah.
online, like, and
Why?
because I mean,
I know why, because their online servers are ass.
Dreadful.
Let's just call a spade a spade.
If they, and I was thinking about this and saying it the other day, if they hadn't had online services in some form or another from Mario Kart DS onwards, like way back in the day, I think Nintendo would have more of an excuse at this point for dropping the ball on this one. But they just brought, and their servers aren't always that reliable. You're going to experience some lag playing Smash Bros, some disconnections when you're playing Mario Kart. But it's there, and they should have made it going. Because some of my favorite like nostalgic memories of playing WarioWare was not online because we didn't have it back then, but like playing crazy multiplayer on Nintendo Wii and GameCube. Like there were modes in that where you wouldn't get this online obviously, but like where you threw your controller around the room, like it was one controller and then you switch different players in the game, and they could have had so much of that with this in terms of at least bringing that experience to the multiplayer. So that's the one big downside about it, but it's got a tight 2 to 4 hours like single player mode, which has a pretty wacky and fun story. So that might tide you over until it's safe to play the game with your friends if you're into it. And also it's like $50, £40 in the UK is its recommended price. So it's not a full price game, and for Nintendo, which notoriously keeps those prices super steep, so that helps lessen the sting a bit.
Okay,
like £40 is,
that's still fucking real close to a full price. You're like, oh, it's not a full price game. It's what, 10? That's a tenner off, because I know like most new games are like $60, so it's like 50. And I understand that now with the newer consoles, like it's gonna be up to $70 or $80.
Yeah. The definition is stretched.
Yeah, it's now a little change, but it's still like $50 for essentially. I'll fucking say it. 1-2 Switch with a Wario skin on top.
There's over 200 micro games, and there is much more to it than 1-2 Switch. I can confidently say there is much more content for your money than there was with 1-2 Switch. And 1-2 Switch, bear in mind, released at £60 recommended retail price.
Oh, trust me, I
launched.
was one of those suckers. I bought that shit.
So was
I hate it.
I managed to get it at a slightly lower price when I bought it, but
I wasn't, you fucking nerds. I didn't buy 1-2 Switch. I know the value of money.
Look, it's a simple matter of I was like, oh, I bought the party game stuff, right? I got Mario Kart because that's an easy party game. 1-2 Switch, it's an easy party game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you pick up Cards Against Humanity, right? Sometimes it works. Sometimes you just want to be done with it after the first hour. 1-2 Switch, you want to be done with it after the first hour. And nothing against WarioWare, and I trust me, I'm very much aware. Like it's just a dumb little thing. It's just like little micro games. But I'll ask the question. I'll pose a question because I know, Joe, you are a Nintendo guy. Why not just put this out on mobile?
Well, WarioWare has. I mean, to be fair, you could do WarioWare on mobile for sure. What I will say is that Nintendo's mobile offerings have been, if you include Pokemon Go in there, that's technically separate, but they're kind of hit and miss. They often put a lot of that unfortunate gacha in there, and I wouldn't want that for WarioWare. And I think essentially the real answer is this game should have been $40, £30. I think that's really what it should have been. You should have online in there, but. And I'm a very special case. I lost my absolute mind when this was announced at E3. It had been rumored, and the fact that we're even getting it because we haven't had any form of proper. With the last WarioWare game we got was WarioWare Gold on the 3DS, which was just the greatest hits of the games. It was not. There was no real new content with that. And the games, the micro games, and the remixes of them that you have in this are still as great as ever. That's always been the hook. However, I think that there's, to be fair, I could see in a year. I think, well, also depending on how the sales do, you might end up seeing that price drop. Even I think you can get it for £35 right now in the UK. I know this for sure, which is what happens usually around launch, anyways. Not even a price drop, but I was also always going to get it because I want to support these Nintendo branches of their franchises that don't get a lot of love, that are not going to be a million sold, maybe ever. I don't know how this is doing currently. It's only been out a week, but it's not necessarily always going to be at the top of the charts. So I know that when I get to, I'll probably I'm seeing some friends after this. I'm probably going to take my Switch and we'll just dick around WarioWare and just at the pub that's what it's there for. But that's just me.
That's fine, and that's I get it. It's just one of those things that
it's hard to swallow.
I have a tough time buying Nintendo games, period, dot, full stop, because half the ones I buy, I don't end up playing for very long. I do not put enough time into the games. Now, whether that's because I just don't have the time for it, or because I'm not a fan of the game. Mario Aces, perfect example. Mario Golf, perfect example, right? Those two sports games, and Aces I liked, but I hated the fact that in order for me to get all the courses all the courts for the Grand Prix, you had to do their fucking single player. And that single player was just trash. I don't care what the fuck you try to tell me. I don't care if it's like, oh, it's teaching you new moves and blah, blah, blah. Fuck so you. Right. Fuck the boo thing where you had to play it and hit the things through the fucking things. Fuck that noise. And then the Mario Golf was okay. It had some kind of cool concepts to it. But it's just, I knew when I looked at it, I shouldn't buy it. And then I bought it anyway, like a chump. And because I was remembering nostalgia with it. Once again.
Yeah.
So I was remembering the nostalgia of playing that with some buddies, in a garage in Florida, drunk, playing on an emulator, full disclosure. But playing Mario Golf, playing Mario Tennis, just kind of fucking around. And then I play this one, and it's like, even if I was drinking in a garage in Florida, it wouldn't feel good. Like, we would probably still go back and play the other one.
I'm gonna say something brave and that I'll probably catch a lot of heat for, but I don't think on a first party basis that the Switch is very good. I think there is a handful of brilliant games. Mario Odyssey is fucking phenomenal. Breath of the Wild is a 7 out of 10. Link's Awakening was really good. Like there are really good games on the Switch that are like first party, like only available on Switch.
I'm just going to down this to deal with the 7 out of 10
hold on. Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U, didn't it? Or am I mistaken?
It also came out on the Wii U.
Same day? Okay.
Yeah, same day.
So it was a Wii U game that they upgraded to the Switch. Got it. Not a Switch exclusive.
But yeah, like there's like I can only
I did that just to piss Joe off. I said that exactly.
It's a Nintendo exclusive. See the veins start to go.
Wow, Luigi!
I just
the hat comes on, the fucking mustache the mustache starts growing out. I saw a fucking Mario, there was a Mario and Luigi costume that was being sold at a garage sale that I was walking past on base today for like $5 each, and I got this close to buying it just so I could fight you. Just so I could put on Luigi and be like, I'm a Mr. Nintendo, I'm not gonna win.
But like I'm having a look at like kind of Switch exclusives at the moment, and like granted I've not played a lot of these, but I feel like a lot of people don't have many good things to say about them, like, or that if they do, it always comes with a big caveat. Sword and Shield is one that like people liked but didn't love. Like what else we got on there? Like Splatoon 2 was another one that I know like made a bunch of weird decisions.
Yep.
Wario, like the new WarioWare game, has made a bunch of weird decisions. Like Tennis Aces and Mario Golf made a bunch of weird decisions, and like all these Nintendo games over the last few years seem to come with this caveat of it's good, but here's all the weird shit that Nintendo decided with this
I
game.
will defend Joe and the Switch and Mr. Nintendo, though they do not need my defending. Fire Emblem Three Houses was a good game. It was solid game. If you're into if you're into that turn-based style game. If you like those kind of games, that game is fucking mwah.
And I think that, and to be fair, you can say this actually for we're really past the days of this console, this company does this very well and not much else. You know, where everyone's got something different to offer. The reason of, nostalgia is one of the biggest reasons I hold Nintendo up and above everything else. But, and I'm completely in agreement with you, Paul. New Pokemon Snap, haven't gone back to it since I started. I wanted to, but it just wasn't. Yeah, it didn't have everything there. Mario Golf. Well, I made the decision not to buy it until someone changed that decision for me. It was in a very nice, generous gesture. But what I will say is, yeah. Well, not just to be on a WarioWare thing, but there's just so what I value most about Nintendo is the fact that you definitely that even when they're not at their best, you're not getting it anywhere else. You're really not getting, there's occasional sort of exclusives on Xbox or PlayStation which offer incredible experiences, but a lot of the time I'm feeling they're similar in a lot of ways to other big AAA titles, and that's just not what I'm personally looking for. But yeah, that's really I'm weird.
You have a hard out time, so we're gonna have to.
We'll run it.
We could talk about Nintendo for literally the rest of this.
Nintendo derail portion is over.
No, to put an end to I mean, Joe, you're totally right. You can't get Snipper Clips anywhere else. And
Snipper Clips is one of the best co-op games that has come out in the past 5 years. It's so fucking good. Play Snipper Clips with the kids, with your niece, with your nephew, with your brother, with your mum or your dad. It's so much fun.
All right. So you I don't even know what that fucking game is, so I'm gonna roll with it. So you've been playing your Nintendo games. I know, obviously.
Yeah, and just I'll be very quick about this. I also dipped back into Spider-Man on PS4 because I've been hyped about Spider-Man No Way Home coming out. I've completed that, not platinumed it, but I've completed that and Miles Morales. Still so much fun to just swing around. The new Fortnite season, I'm enjoying a lot. It's a bit of a filler season. Been playing that with some friends and just having a blast, squadding up, dicking around, and then I mean, is that just a no for Fortnite, or is that just a no,
Fortnite in general?
Okay, fair play.
It is a stretch goal for stack up, and I honestly, I was gonna put that at 69.69 just for the meme of it because I don't want to play that game. There's not a single ounce of my body that wants to jump back into Fortnite. However, people wanted me to play Fortnite. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just keep kicking that can down the road. Like, if the people who really want me to play that, I will play it, but I'm going to talk shit about it the entire time. I'm going to make fun of everything. I'm going to just be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. And it's on my shirt, Fall Guys. It. I love it. It's great. Still.
God damn it. I hate how that game is like such a it's kind of like, I don't want to put this. It's something that I go on a binge with, right? So like I either play a whole shitload of it and then I don't touch it again for a couple months. And then I'll play a whole shitload of it again. And it's a lot of fun. It's just it's dumb easy to pick up and jump back in. Even though the controls don't change, the courses do, and so they kind of like reinvent the wheel every now and again with like some of the crazy things you can do. And like some of the courses and just some of like the themes, like obviously this season is jungle themed, and all that stuff's amazing and awesome. I love it. But at the same time, it's like, if something else takes my attention away, I'm not like, oh man, I need to finish this pass because I need the new skin.
Oh, it's
Underbros.
Totally disposable. It's the most disposable game I've ever played, and I love it for it. Like it's just. I mean, full well, like I've spoken about it on this pod like before. I caught the Fall Guys bug hard a few months ago. It's only in the last like 2 or 3 weeks that's kind of subsided a little bit. But as soon as the next season comes out, I'll be back in. I'll be back in full hard like for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll drop it again, and then I'll come back, and it's just a good game, good video game.
Fall Guys is the bubble gum of video games. It's just, you pop it in, you enjoy it, and then as soon as you're like, I don't like it, it's out of flavor. You bin it, you move on with your life until you're like, I use a little chewing gum right now. You're like, I need to like cleanse the palate. Boom, bubble gum. All right, so that's
that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm good. I'll shut up.
Shut up. No more talking. You stop talking. All right, my turn now. I'm kidding. Love you, Joe. You're like, you're like trying to hit me here, but like on the stream, I'm technically over.
Oh no, that was just a throwaway. But yeah, no.
I thought you.
No, you're here, and Paul's here for me.
You want to try that one again, Joe?
I didn't realize the conversation.
Oh boy.
The fact that you A did it and B didn't realize that we were on. You said, "Oh, you're here and Paul's here." I'm like, "You would okay." Anywho, so this week it's kind of been almost a wash, rinse, and repeat for me. I've been playing. I beat Boyfriend Dungeon, which I'll just say that game it was a lot of fun. I will say that it was a lot.
Is it better or worse than Dream Daddy? That's my barometer for whether or not I will enjoy a dating sim.
Okay. It does not have the same humor as Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy beats it in humor. Dream Daddy also kind of had the little mini games you would play every now and again were really fun. And they kind of help break that up. But I love the dungeon crawling in it was actually kind of pretty fun, and like it left a lot to be there. I kind of wanted more because you get like 2 dungeons, but they call them dunge. So you have the mall and then a club. and then each one kind of talks. It's supposed to break down something that you fear. So in the game, the first one is fear of change, and the second one is fear of intimacy. So those are like your two big fears that you have. And then you end up fighting like the big boss guy. But it almost looks like they set it up to where they can put more dungeons in the game if you wanted to go in there and do them, because there's like 6 characters that you could run with. So you have a rapier, you have a scimitar, a dagger, a laser sword, a glaive. Actually, there's 7. Sorry. A scythe, and brass knuckles with claws on them. And so they all correspond to different people or different things, because the brass knuckles with claws is a fucking cat. It is a fucking cat. Why do you get a cat? Because sometimes you don't really want to date anybody and you just want to have a cat. Like, and you can very much play the game as like you only want to be friends with them. You can, try to hook up with everybody. There is one precious bean, Sawyer. I could not date them. They were like, they were a college student or a university student, but like they were just so pure and innocent, and I was like, oh precious bean, you must be protected. I can't. We are friends. I can't. You are stumbling all over yourself. And the fact that they had 2 non-binary characters in there was very cool. So Sawyer was one of them, and then Rowan was the other, who is the scythe. Sawyer was the glaive. And you had all these all the characters play differently. They all had very different stories, each one of them having slightly different, I don't want to say issues, but like they all had different personalities and different aspects of themselves. So like Sawyer was unsure of himself. You had the guy who was a rapier, which I'm blanking on his name, but him and his father had a really like rough history with each other. The scimitar was the vampire. Like literally, that's not even a joke. And then like you have all these little different aspects of the game, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I played it. I don't see me jumping back into it until they unless they drop more content, because I'm not super crazy on seeing like how that ends using the different weapons. Because like you can end it with any of the people that you have, so I'm not really super keen on like, oh, what happens if I do this, or what happens if I do end it with this person? Like, how does that ending screen like?
Is it one of those, like, I know like a lot of like sort of dating sims kind of, they almost like overstay their welcome a little bit, because you kind of get the gimmick, you kind of get the different sort of thing of like what this one is, and then it sort of runs that well a little dry. Like how, I know you've been playing it for a while. How long was it? Like how like
I think if I were to actually just like, and of course like even with Dream Daddy, I drag these out because I start yelling at the characters and doing that. But overall, I think you could probably get through this game in like maybe 10. Like, and that's even with you like taking the time, and like if you wanted to like get everything, right?
Mhm.
Because like getting through the dungeons takes a little bit of time, but like once you get the cadence down, you get the rhythm down. Like if you wanted to get all your people up to level 6, and you wanted to get all of like the hats and the clothing and all the yada yada yadas, you can get through that probably 10 hours. So it's not too long, but I do understand what you mean about like sometimes like
I mean that's still like that's a long time for like a dating sim. I feel like that's still like,
well, that a lot of that is dungeon crawling. That's a lot of like
yeah, okay, fair. True.
Yeah. But yeah, like so that's been like the big game that I finished. Big game, but that's a big game I've finished. I've also been playing Destiny 2 a bunch because fuck my life, I forgot how fun that game is. I've been grinding up because I have never done a raid. I have played Destiny 1, I have played Destiny 2, like when Destiny 2 dropped. I played it for a little while, dropped off, came back, dropped off again. And I have never done a raid because I've never had a crew or been at a high enough level. And so now I'm like, fuck it, we're doing it this time. So I'm like grinding my power level up. I've got a handful of people. We're probably gonna do it for the big stack up stream on September 26th. Mark your calendars. I'll probably end up doing that like after the thing. Like, so we're just gonna get me and 5 other people. They're gonna drag my ass through a raid, and we're gonna do everything we can to like finish that off.
See, I'm like I have only played the first Destiny. It was like the game that came with my PS4 when I bought it. I played maybe 5 to 10 hours. I loved it. I cannot tell you how glad I am to not have a group of friends that play Destiny, because if I had a group of friends that play Destiny, I would be a Destiny guy. That game is just so much fun. It is so good, and I would never play anything else. If I had
Right.
and like I am so glad that like, because if you ask me to play Destiny, I will say no, because I enjoy playing video games. I enjoy playing a variety of video games. I enjoy living a life outside of video games. If I downloaded Destiny 2, I would say goodbye to all of that within like 2 hours and like say,
Fair
okay,
enough.
I'm
I
one of those
will-
Destiny people now.
And because of that, I will not tell you that Destiny is crossplay.
And
All right, I'm downloading Destiny as we fucking speak.
and might you even say, Oliver, that all along, it is your destiny.
I love how you set that up for yourself. You were like, lean in close. Love it.
I've got nothing else to input.
I
I've
got
never played
nothing-
Destiny. I've never played a dating sim, so
Well,
I
yeah,
have to get some...
I mean, you're always playing on Nintendo. Destiny hasn't made it there yet. It's fine. And then the last one was I've been playing Pokemon Shield because, god damn it, I blame Queen Corby for it. She kind of, that's the whole reason why there's a shiny hunt possible, because I hopped in her stream, was talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, you could probably do it." I was like, "I have no idea if I can complete the Pokedex." I booted up Shield. And that was a mistake, because I was immediately looking around and then remembered, oh, I bought the DLC for this game and never touched it. So now I'm going through the DLC.
Well, also,
have you caught a Charmander yet? That's kind of the extent of my Pokemon knowledge.
Yes, I have.
he's on fire.
He is on fire. I have him, and I have the best out of the 151 Blastoise. I will fight every and anyone on this. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, Charizard's the best. Get your flying fire type out of here. How's it feel knowing that a palm tree is a dragon type and your goddamn lizard's not? Go fuck yourself, all right? Don't get mad at me. Get mad at Mr. Pokemon, okay?
I don't understand that reference, but it sounds funny.
There's a fucking palm tree, right? There's a literal I'm blanking on his name right now. But there's a palm tree, and in the was it Sun and Moon? Essentially like the Hawaiian game, the Aloha version of that Pokemon, which has like a stupidly long neck.
Yeah, the Alolan Executor, right?
Executor. I think that's the one. It's either that one or it's the
Yeah, he's the
big ass
that
palm
grows
tree.
a long neck and becomes a palm tree.
And that long palm tree, by Pokemon standards, is a fucking dragon type Pokemon. But Charizard isn't. And it makes me so happy because I just get to laugh at all of the fucking Charizard stands that are like, oh, fucking da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, How's it feel?
Pokemon's kind of
it's weird as
stupid,
shit.
huh?
It's weird. It's weird at times. Look, I'm not opening up the Pokemon card packs just yet because I don't need that in my life. I don't need that commitment. I don't need that hobby. I have enough hobbies and things to spend my adult money on. I got dice out the wazoo for D&D. I don't need another hobby. That being said, Oliver, tell me about Deathloop.
Oh, baby Deathloop. You may have heard of Deathloop. You may have seen a trailer because there have been roughly 7,000 trailers for Deathloop. I'm not convinced that they're stopped with the trailers. I'm sure that in like 2 years' time, they'll still show a Deathloop trailer at E3 every year. There won't be any DLC. They'll still just show a trailer because they're so used to showing trailers for this game every 8 fucking minutes. I've been hyped for this game for so long. Since the first trailer I saw, I went, shit, this looks really cool. The aesthetic of it, like this kind of like, I don't know, like almost like Blackster position, James Bond-esque, like stealthy, time loopy, weird shooty game. Like I was in instantly. The marketing for this game has been weird because they have literally dropped a trailer at every single press conference that either Sony or Jeff Keighley or anyone has had for the past, like, what feels like maybe 2.5 years at this point. And I was kind of a bit sick of seeing it, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
I've skipped the last like 4 trailers and gone, nope, like, not interested. But I'd already pre-ordered it because I was so excited for it. Tuesday rolls around, I pick up sticks on it. I played it like I on Tuesday I only had like around about a half hour, 45 minutes or so to play it. And I was like, well, this feels it feels good. Like everything, like it moves good. Like everything about it just seems okay. And then today was the day that I kind of actually put some actual time into it. I played it for around 3.5 hours solid today, and then had to stop because this podcast. And this is the first time I think since Returnal that I've come on this podcast and I'm clock watching, going, I love doing this podcast. I love hanging out with FNHPaul. I love having a guest here every other week. I love this little slice of time to talk about video games and have a beer with two of my favorite human beings on twitch.tv. I want this podcast to end just so I can jump back into Deathloop. Deathloop is so good. It sinks its hooks into you, and like already in these like first like maybe 2 to 3 hours or so, there have been 3 moments, and I won't spoil them. I won't say anything about it. I won't like because this is a game that needs to be experienced. But like 3 moments where I have literally gone, whoa, holy shit, and like kind of like jumped out of my seat because something incredible has happened. This game, like everything about it, just feels so good, so crisp, so concise. It's made by the
Dishonored developers.
Yes, thank you, Joe. The Dishonored guys, Arcane, and it feels like those games, but it doesn't have a whale punk aesthetic. And my God, I cannot tell you how pleased I am to play a game that feels that good without a whale punk aesthetic. Like, it's. I'm still early doors. I'm still first act of the game. I'm still like finding my like footing into it. Again, yeah, 3 hours in total into it. I would not be surprised if this usurps Returnal for my game of the year. It is incredible. It's weird. The like one of the things that I really like hooked into, like when the developers said like a few months ago, was like they said like, so every time you die you start back at the start, but it's not a roguelite. And I was like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Because that is a roguelite.
Yeah, by definition.
It's not a roguelite. It's not it's level based. It's level based like Dishonored. And so like, yeah, when you die, you start at the start, but you don't have that kind of like roguelite sort of like mentality of it, of like, right, I start at the start, so I know I'm gonna do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then I'll get back to H where I was when I died a moment ago. Instead, you die and you go, right, I'm at A, I can skip right to G and then jump into H where I was, sort of thing. And it works so well. And the voice cast is incredible. The gameplay is incredible. Just every single part of this game. It's funny. It's silly. It's dumb. It's lighthearted. Like, it's just, it is a joy to play. And like, I've heard like there's a bunch of, I like the only like downside to it I can say right now is that like I'm playing on PS5, it's running perfectly. I understand there is a bunch of issues with the PC version at this stage, which might be down to the whole what's it called, de novo DRM software that's in it, and like that needs to get nuked because like apparently it is killing that game on PC, and it's such a bummer because this game deserved every single trailer it has had in the last 2 years.
All 86 trailers that
All
it had.
8,000 trailers, but yeah, it's a damn good video game. Like I'm gonna like once this podcast is over, I am gonna jump straight back into it. I will probably be playing it until maybe 1-2 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning. I'm
Until
gonna play it
C
again.
comes in there and she's like, "Hey,"
until I get told off. Like I will
will-
carry on playing the game until I get
will
told off.
cut the power cord. Get to bed.
Yeah, I like this is that kind of game. It seeps into you. Like literally, like I was like, oh shit, I need to play a bit more Deathloop so I can talk about it on the pod. I'll play it for an hour and a half. I'll do like the opening chapter sort of thing, so I at least have a little bit to say. And like literally, like what I think I jumped on the Discord call maybe like 10 minutes before like we started the pod. That was 12 minutes after I turned off Deathloop. Like it's so good. It's a video game, but it is a damn good one at that.
So, needless to say, the hype for you with that game is real. Needless to
Yeah,
say.
like
Yeah.
I did not think there was any chance that Deathloop met the hype, but it has. Like and I've been burned this year. Ratchet and Clank was not very good. Like I didn't love Ratchet and Clank. Like, and I had because it's a kids game. And like all the Nintendo games.
Exactly.
I'm wearing pajamas basically right now. I don't give a shit.
He's like, fuck
This is
you.
It dawned on me as we were getting ready to go live. I was just like, this shirt that is in the promo shot that Oliver requested for this very podcast basically just looks like I'm wearing bloody pajamas. But here we are. I've got a star. I've got a baby Yoda. Pikachu Happy Meal. Yeah, I also have a PlayStation.
What we can't see underneath like the camera is that's actually just a onesie with like the button up for the bum. Like it's that is a full on like Victorian kids onesie.
Top to bottom beans.
I almost
top
lost
to
it.
bottom
Almost
beans.
lost it. Almost lost it. Because I can see Joe wearing it. Like footy pajamas. I can see it. And he would just be wearing it unironically. He'd be like having the leg up, like, what's up, guys? Like in his Discord.
It's off camera, but I've got an Ebenezer Scrooge style nightcap that sports this same pattern.
No. Because as much as I would love that, we do have a topic of the show that we're going to get into.
What?
I know, we still have another segment to go, and I know you have a hard out time, which was like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're good.
I think like because like right, I understand that we have got a hard out for Joe.
I'm gonna let people know I'm gonna be late. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sweet. I was just gonna say we make this the first two-parter.
We could make this a two-parter.
I mean, I honestly, and you could cut it at a certain point and and see and like do a vote on the live chat, maybe see what people think. I would be happy to do that, but also I can go on for days and hours. Like it's absolutely fine. We could if you, what do you guys think? What does everyone think? I don't know.
I mean, look, this is you act like I'm gonna edit. All right, first and foremost, I need bare bone editing. This is being left in the podcast. Like this is going up on YouTube.
I get that. That's cool.
So here's what we'll do, because I do actually want to talk to you about what our topic is. So now we can kind of sit back and because I won't lie to you, I've been here, there, and everywhere this week. So like I looked at what the topic of the show was an hour before the show started. So I was like, okay, cool. What can I put down? X, Y, and Z. This is what we're gonna put down. So what we can do is we will make this a two. Ladies and gentlemen, Nostalgia on the Rocks fans around the world. This is going to be part one of the two-parter that is Joe Medforce's What the Fuck podcast. Cliffhanger. What will we talk about next time? Tune in next time on Nostalgia on the Rocks. But no,
so Joe, are you available? Like, let's put this in the diary. 1st of October. That's the next episode that we're filming.
100%. Yes.
There we
Okay.
go. There we go. We got
So
our first
1
2
October. So our next parter, we'll do that, and then we can talk about we will do a very brief run through of our games and stuff, and then we will just roll straight into what the topic is, and that way we can kind of really talk that topic through.
You can just play my clip again from the games. That's pretty much probably what it'll be. It'll just be like Fortnite 4, guys.
Yeah, but I don't want to yell at you about Fortnite and Nintendo again. So we're just gonna. I don't want to. I mean, I can. I have no issue doing that. I can. I don't know if I can say it verbatim what I said earlier, but I can very easily start tearing into you about.
I would play Deathloop if I had a PlayStation 5. Or it sucks that the PC version is so not good.
Yeah, apparently
wait, is Deathloop not on PS4?
No, PS5 and PC.
Oh shit.
That's the rub, and it's great that PS5 has got such a killer exclusive, but
and then fucking God of War and Spider-Man are both coming out this year, right?
No. Spider-Man is
no.
2023. God of War's next year.
And God of War's coming to PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man will probably.
I remember seeing.
Yeah, they confirmed Spider-Man is just PS5. Wolverine's just PS5.
Okay.
But God of War is PS4, PS5.
All right, because I remember seeing the trailers, and I remember like hearing some TikTok people like losing their shit. Like, this was supposed to be Xbox this year, damn it! Like da 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 da. I was like, I mean, all right, y'all.
Every year is supposed to be Xbox. I love Xbox Game Pass. It's such a great deal. Every year is supposed to be Xbox this year.
Look, as an Xbox Best Box player, it is kind of like being a Dallas Cowboys fan, and where it's like every year is gonna be the year they win the Super Bowl. Now, if Halo Infinite comes out and kills it, fucking hell yeah, I want it. Give me Spartan Ops, where it's my own Spartan team and not Master Chief all the time. Said it once and say it 1,000 times. I will shout it from the rooftop. The best part of Halo 4 was the Spartan Ops, where you ran as your own Spartan team, and they had their own story with their own cinematics. Sure, the maps were kind of like, you kind of did the same, you played the same maps, but you had different objectives. That was fine, but the fact that it was me as a Spartan running around, not Master Chief, which I love Master Chief to death, but it was me and my squad, and we were the Spartan fire team, and then like we had all the cool cinematics and shit. Master Chief his story was done in 3. 3 was a proper send off. They sent him off, lovely, and then they fucked it up. In my personal opinion.
No. I'm right there with you. I love Halo 1, 2, 3. ODST is also great. Reach is really freaking cool.
I was about to say, you fucking talk shit on Reach, I'll kick you off this.
No.
There will be no part 2. There will be no part 2.
No. But yeah, 4 and 5 were not the greatest.
4 was okay. 5 just got. I think 5 got high on its own supply, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kind of like hyped itself up.
It got away from what Halo is, and Infinite so far seems to be that return to form from what we've seen. So fingers crossed as well. Fingers crossed.
I was say I will play it, but I'm not necessarily holding my breath that this is going to be the hottest thing, the next hot thing. Oliver has nothing to say on this. He's like, I don't Halo. I got nothing.
What's an Xbox?
I think it's in space.
And on that terrible disappointment, yeah, I'm going full Jeremy Clarkson on that one. We bring part 1 of our first ever 2-parter to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world, I want to thank you guys so very much for being here. I'm going to top my glass up because it is improper for me to cheers on an empty glass. So...
Woo! Same again. I love that it was the same again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world, I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with us here. If you are not already following these lovely individuals, you can find them. Where can they find you? Probably Oliver.
Talking shit on Halo forums, because PlayStation is the one true place to play video games. That's where you can find me. Occasionally hopping over to Nintendo forums and yelling at them about playing children's video games.
And Joe, where can they find you? I'm not even. I'm done with Oliver and his shenanigans.
Yeah, you can find me at Joe Medforce on every social media known to man. YouTube.com/Joe Medforce. If you can't tune in to the streams live on Twitch.tv/Joe Medforce. And also, where else can you find me? Part 2 of Nostalgia on the Rocks with me, FNHPaul, and probably Oliver, October 1st, live on Twitch.tv/FNHPaul. Let's
Hell yeah.
bloody go!
Oh man, I gotta buy. I forgot. I gotta buy new Hawaiian shirts. I know it's such a trend. I gotta buy spooky ones. We're in October. This is spooky season. I've got 2 like ones with like skulls and stuff, but like I can't just keep cycling between those 2 shirts. Gonna get
turn it inside out. Different shirt.
Sure.
The spookiness is how it smells.
It's just the green fumes coming off. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can find me on twitch.tv/FNHPaul. And if you guys are watching this over on the YouTube channel, please make sure to hit that like, throw some up in the comments, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as we are on the road to 100 subs over there on the YouTubes. But enough about that. So, sports fans, thank you so much.